Good morning, 3-4s, and welcome to our lesson on information reports. I hope everybody is looking after themselves during their remote learning and trying to get all their work done, as well as remembering to look after yourselves and allow time to do your own activities and keeping up with your exercise. Let's get into today's lesson. The learning intention for today's lesson is we are learning to write an opening statement using a non-fiction text. And to be successful in this lesson, I can turn my notes into full sentences to add to my information report. So again, we're focusing on the opening statement and looking at examples of what an opening statement should look like. And again, practicing turning your notes into longer sentences to add to your information report draft. What is the purpose of an opening statement? Now, by now everybody should have completed one opening statement. So have a think about what did your opening statement look like and how could you improve upon your opening statement from your last piece? What could you do to make it better? A general opening statement introduces the topic. Often this involves a classification. For example, a dog is a canine, and explaining what it is. So you're introducing the topic and explaining what it is. Now let's have a look at an example. So on the right hand side, this is an example of a Year 3 information report. So you can see Mini Beast at the very top, there is an opening paragraph, which is a great example of an opening statement. Mini beasts are billions of insects, spiders and other creepy crawlies that live all around the world. Scientists know about more than 1 million different types of mini beasts. Insects have 3 body parts, a head, a thorax and an abdomen. So you can see there in a few sentences, it has introduced the topic and told us a little bit about mini beasts. So let's have a look at a few pages from a text and write an opening statement together. So here we have a text on snakes. So let's quickly read through a couple of pages and think about what opening statement could we use to explain snakes. A snake is a reptile. Lizards, turtles and crocodiles are reptiles too. All reptiles have tough scales. A snake has stretchy skin between its scales. A reptile's body is always the same temperature as the air around it. To warm up, a snake lies in the sun. To cool down, a snake moves into the shade. Snakes live in fields and forests. They live in deserts and oceans too. They even live in city parks. Snakes can live almost anywhere. Most snakes live in warm places. They stay active all year long. Some snakes live in cool places. In the winter, they hibernate. Most snakes hibernate alone. Some snakes hibernate in large groups. So using these 2 pages, what information could we use to make an opening statement? So I'm going to give everybody a few seconds just to pause and reflect and think about what information could they use to make an opening statement from those 2 pages. If you need longer, feel free to pause this video while you are thinking about your opening statement. Let's have a look at one I've put together already. A snake is a reptile that has tough skin and stretchy skin between its scales. They live in fields, forests, deserts and oceans too. Snakes often live in warmer climates and remain active all year long. So you can see there it's given us a brief outline of what a snake is and where they live. Now it's your turn to start your own opening statement for your next information report. What are you going to research next? What would you like to know more about? So thinking about what would you like to do your information report on, reading a few texts and beginning to structure your opening statement. Remember to turn your own notes into more detailed sentences when you are writing your draft. So once you have chosen your topic, you've written down your notes, have a go at adding more detail to your notes. So let's have a look at 2 for example. So first note, somebody might have written, a reptile's body is always the same temperature. It's not a bad start, however, we could add more detail to that note. Here is an example of an answer. A reptile's body temperature is always the same as the air around it. To warm up and cool down, they use the sun and shade on their bodies. And one more note that we could have a go at extending, snakes live in fields and forests. So how can we add more detail to that note? Let's have a look at the example. Snakes can love almost anywhere. Sorry, that should say live. Teacher error. Snakes can live almost anywhere. Most snakes live in warmer places and stay active all around. Some snakes live in cooler places and hibernate alone in the winter months.